congratulations, you've conquered the mountain. And I got very emotional. People do say, you know, my challenges inspire the children, but the children equally inspire me, and I've never regretted it once. Greatest decision I made, never look back. Hi, I'm Steve Hill. I'm the Deputy Head Teacher at St Joseph's Primary School in Shaw, and I've been teaching now for 25 years, 18 of those years as Deputy Head Teacher. And for me, it's still the greatest privilege in the world to teach and be part of these children's lives. Having said that, it wasn't a career I always intended to go into. As an 18-year-old, didn't quite know where to go. Wanted to be a pilot in the RAF, wanted to be a firefighter, police officer, but it was my mum, actually, who worked in a school and said, Stephen, I think you'd be good as a teacher. A male role model, go and inspire the children, I think you'd enjoy it. I took 2 weeks of experience in a local high school, a local primary school, and I loved it. And it was just then a decision of high school, secondary school or primary school, and I opted for primary, and I've never regretted it once. Greatest decision I made, never look back. I love every minute of it. As I say, it's a great privilege. Yeah, I do enjoy the added responsibility of being Deputy Head. I'm still a full-time teaching Deputy Head, so obviously I've got a workload of being a class teacher, but I do enjoy that added responsibility of managing other staff, inspiring other staff, supporting other staff, whatever ways needed. The ethos I think I've brought to the school is a work hard, play hard philosophy in the classroom, both with staff and with the children. You know, it's important that we work hard within the classroom, but also play hard beyond the classroom and give the children many opportunities, as I say, beyond to learn outside, whether it's in nature, through sports, or whatever is needed, giving that whole rounded education. Miss Dale's Challenges, yeah, it goes back 13 years. I played rugby for many years. I do a lot of sports with the children at school, but having finished playing rugby, I needed something to fill that void, if you like. And I've always enjoyed the outdoors, camping, being in the Army Cadets as a child, being in the Cubs. And it was about getting back to nature, getting back out into the world and exploring the world. And I wanted to get out there and push my boundaries to see what I was capable of, but also to involve the children in that, to show the children that through self-belief, hard work, determination, and never giving up when things get tough, anything's possible. And that, as I say, has been the big catalyst for Miss Dale's Challenges, which has taken me all around the world, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro back in 2009 to climbing Mont Blanc, climbing Mount Elbrus, the highest mountain in Europe, trekking through the Sahara Desert, trekking through the jungles of Borneo, running the Mount Everest Marathon, running the North Pole Marathon, running 6 marathons in 5 days through the Amazon jungle in the Amazon Jungle Ultra, running 6 marathons in 5 days through the Arctic wilderness, and recently running across Iceland, which was 9 marathons in 9 days. As I say, it's about me pushing my boundaries, seeing what I'm capable of, but showing the children that anything is possible and that we should all have these big dreams. And no one has the right to tell us that our dreams are too big. Just get out and push your boundaries. That's where the magic happens, when you come out of your comfort zone and live your best lives. So yeah, long may that continue, and the challenges have also enabled us to raise a lot of money for charity, which has been fantastic. So yeah, that's the story of Miss Dale's Challenges, and many more to come, hopefully. It was quite emotional to get to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, to be honest with you. I'm not the most emotional guy. But it'd been a long slog on summit night, about 7.5 hours in darkness, cold, scree slope, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back type of thing, and it seemed endless at the time. But as the sun started to rise over the African plains and I got towards the summit, the guy turned around to me and just said, Steve, congratulations, you've conquered the mountain. And I got very emotional, and to stand at the top of that mountain and see the sun rising, as I say, was a special moment, and it did get me more than I thought. And as I say, little did I know at the time, but that was the start of what was to come, Miss Dale's Challenges, which have taken me all around the world, some of the most spectacular parts of the world. But as I say, it's always great to be able to bring that back into the classroom and share those experiences and make them real with the children, which is, as I say, means the world to me. There's obviously personal motivation, as I say, pushing my boundaries, seeing what I'm capable of, and I'm a firm believer that none of us know what we're capable of until we get out there and push those boundaries. And the boundaries that we often set on ourselves, they don't exist really, they're in our heads. But the children are a big motivation. As I said, people do say, you know, my challenges inspire the children, but the children equally inspire me, and they motivate me, whether it's with my training. They hold me accountable every morning. So did you get out training last night? And throughout the winter they are, as I say, a big spur of motivation for me. And when I'm on my challenges, and times that, you know, get hard in the middle of the Amazon jungle, in the middle of the night, tired, totally exhausted, I think about the children back at school, and they do motivate and inspire me, and I often think about what they'd say, and it pretty much would be, get on with it, sir. You know, pretty much my response to them in class, get on with it, you can do it. We always have a conversation in September. The question they'll ask me in the first week is, what's next, sir? What's our big challenge this year? And we'll have a big discussion about it, and I'll leave it open to them to come up with some great ideas, and then we narrow it down and I get the challenge sorted. And then involve them fully in my training, as I say, throughout winter. They hold me accountable, they ensure that I get out and do the miles that I need to do. I share with them the equipment I'll be taking, the food I'll be taking with me on the challenges, and actually the part of the world that it's in, so as I say, it's opening that world up to them. And then when I do come to set off on the challenge, which are always in the school holidays, they always write me letters of support, so I have letters to open on day 1 and day 2 and day 3, which means the world to me, and it's all motivation and inspiration from the children. And as I say, when I fly off, get into challenge mode and go and compete in these bonkers events, if you like, the children are with me in spirit. I often have their ties attached to my rucksack, and as I said, they're with me in spirit. And once I finish these challenges, I can't wait to get back to class to share it with the children, and they're all very, very excited to hear all about it. And then inevitably that next question comes, what's next, sir? Which has led to me writing a book recently, which is all very exciting. So throughout lockdown, I wasn't able to go on any of my challenges and adventures, if you like, so my lockdown challenge was to write a book, believe it or not, and it still seems very surreal to have had it published. Over the last few years, quite a number of people have said, Steve, you've got a great story to tell, you should write a book. And as usual, my response was, yeah, right, whatever. I haven't got time and I wouldn't know where to start. But as I said, during lockdown, a little bit more time, a little bit of support from a friend who'd written a couple of books, and 2 years down the line, a book's published entitled, well, what else could it be? What's Next, Sir? And it's about how one teacher's mission to inspire his pupils taught him so much more in return, as I say, and it's just pretty special to have a book out there. It's about my adventures, my motivation to become a teacher, and the lessons I've learned along the way, if you like, through teaching these great children, you know, wonderful children I've had the great privilege of teaching, but also the challenges I've been on and the life lessons they've taught me. The feedback's been fantastic from adults and children alike, and one of my highlights, if you like, probably the biggest highlight of teaching was after the book launch, Monday morning, registration, all the class having the book and reading the book direct registration, and it was pretty special seeing my children in my class reading the book and asking them which chapter they're up to, etc., and saying things along the lines of, sir, I've just climbed Kilimanjaro. Sir, I've just met the Queen. They were living the adventures, and for me, job done. Really was the highlight of my career as a teacher. So yeah, being told it's a great book, as I say, it'd be great if you get a copy, have a read. What's Next, Sir? One teacher's mission to inspire his pupils taught him so much more in return. My favourite challenge I've completed, they've all been fantastic, they've all been different in many ways, some tougher than others. Running at the North Pole was very special. To stand at the North Pole is something I never envisaged ever doing as a child, but again, showing the children that anything is possible. Running through the Amazon jungle was pretty special. Yeah, it was brutal, but to sit or to stand there in the Amazon jungle, to sleep in a hammock was special. But I think Mount Everest Marathon, to stand in the shadow of Mount Everest, having grown up as a child, reading books about Everest, to stand in the shadow of Everest at the start line of the Mount Everest Marathon was pretty special, and that was my first marathon. And one day I do hope to be able to climb Mount Everest. That, if you like, is my big dream that I've shared with the children, and hopefully one day that will happen. Being awarded an MBE in 2015 was a huge shock. I mean, none of us come into teaching, or any profession for that matter, to win awards, but to be nominated and awarded this, and I believe it was parents that put me forward for it, was very special. I was very self-conscious in many ways, a little bit embarrassed, unsure about whether to accept it, but as I said, many people I was told were involved in the nomination process, so yeah, it was a massive honour, but not just for me, for many other people, friends and family, school community, colleagues at school, but most importantly the children. They're a massive part of that, and they ensure that they get a chance to wear the medal, to hold the medal, to wear the medal. As I say, it's not about me, it's about those wonderful children I have the great privilege of teaching. Yeah, it's really important to get that balance right, and I know it's very difficult. The workload of teachers is very high, and as I say, it's not an easy profession to be in. As much as the rewards are there with the children, it is hard, but it is important that you get that balance right, and for me it's being organised, making sure that the week's organised, and I'm strict with myself, that I do get out and get my training in during the week, but at all times not letting the children down, as I say. So being fully organised, but being strict with yourself and giving time to yourself is important, because giving time to yourself and looking after yourself ensures that the children get the best of you in class, which is important, because as teachers, we've not got to lose sight, no matter what we have to do, it's about the children. Put the children at the centre of everything we do. They're the most important thing, and that's why we're there. Stay positive, as I say. It's the greatest job in the world, the greatest privilege in the world to be part of these children's lives. I've been doing it now for 25 years. Yes, there's a lot of paperwork. Yes, that can sometimes get us down, but just don't forget, it's about those children, those 30 children that come in each day, ready to learn, and they're a massive part of our lives as teachers. And let's not lose sight of the fact that we're there to make a difference for those boys and girls. And as I say, what a privilege that is. So, as I said, don't lose sight of the fact of why you came into teaching, to make a difference, to change the lives of this next generation. And good luck with all that. The best piece of advice as a teacher coming into teaching was to get involved in the wider aspects of school life. I've always been a big advocate of the extracurricular side of life, sports, football, netball, music, whatever. I've been a big part of the sporting side of life in my school. And the more you get involved with, you do see a different side of the children after school on that football pitch. And I find that relationships are developed, stronger relationships, and as a result, you get more from the children back in class. So yeah, get involved in that wider aspect of school life, because if you don't, you're missing out on something pretty special. That's my secret. What's yours?